deeply rooted into an emotional trauma that, you know what, let's just take a step or two first and figure this out and transform it so that you don't even feel that fear anymore. You don't have to talk. That's my whole thing is you shouldn't have to talk yourself out of emotion. You should just be able to not react that way anymore. And that's the result of this type of work.
This is like a master class on reframing and rethinking the way we look at our emotions that bubble up through our body. I want to make sure the listeners totally understand what the emotional bridge process actually is, because I know it's different from what most people would expect to hear. And you've talked about it. You said it's not about the story, it's not about therapy. So what is it? And why does detaching from the story matter so much?
The emotional bridge process is to ensure that your mind is working in the present moment and in your favor. So this way, you're not working from the past, the trauma, and sending out those signals and those emotions of whatever we just talked about, overcompensation from childhood or work. And so the feedback that you get is going to be true to your heart's desire. And by doing that, the first step we talked about is recognizing your emotion and trying to go deeper than just anger or the main emotion, because that's key. If all emotions are frequencies, then each emotion has its own frequency. And so the more that you can tune it, and it's like having a conversation with somebody, and all you say is, hey, how was your weekend? Good. How was yours? Good. Versus having that heart to heart talk with your best friend. That's the difference of the type of communication that you're going to have with yourself. And your results are going to be that much more deeper. The second step is to reconnect the feeling to your body. We need to start connecting to our body more. Our mind cannot, like the quote from Dr. Pert, can't heal what goes on in the body, which emotions are part of our body. They're chemical processes in our body. They're ruled by our subconscious. So how it came into our system, into our body, is through our senses. You know, when we're children, we see things and we hear things and feel things. And so we reprogram. I vote the same way. So we just need to quickly tap into what does this emotion feel like in my body? Is it, it's in my stomach. I feel nauseous when I feel that. And that's it. And then immediately after that is the reset. And I do that by what I call a micro moment of joy. Bring into your body a joyful moment, resets the emotion to the truth of who you are instead of reacting from a past program. And Pavlov's dog is an example of this in training. More back to animals, but training a dog, if it drooled when it rang a bell, if you want to retrain that dog, you don't ring the bell, let it drool, and 10 minutes later, try to get it to, go out the door or shake its paw. You need to retrain it when the trigger happens.
Do you have an example of how to reset it and what's worked for you?
A memory that is just pure joy that you can see, taste, smell. Mine is, I shared with you in a picture, it's me with a dolphin, swimming with this dolphin. And all I have to do is think of that moment and my body responds. That's kind of how like we respond in a negative way when somebody does something and we trigger right away to irritation. This triggers your body to joy. So I can taste the salt water. I can hear the dolphin, can smell the water and what happened in that moment. And it all correlates to joy. And like my whole body lights up. And so what you're telling your nervous system